Max Verstappen and Mohammed Ben Sulayem have once again grabbed the headlines after the recent race in Jeddah, where it was evident that the Dutch driver was visibly frustrated when the FIA President confronted him post-race. This incident adds yet another blemish to the already controversial tenure of Ben Sulayem, prompting a pressing question. Should Ben Sulayem step down amid the growing wave of criticism? It's hard to find the right words to fully capture the intense backlash that's been brewing against Ben Sulayem. And honestly, not all of it is without merit. We've seen before that Ben Sulayem struggles to command the respect of the sport's biggest stars, including Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. The Jeddah race weekend made this crystal clear. Ben Sulayem has been persistently trying to be noticed, even trailing the drivers during press events. And at one point, he awkwardly tried to engage Lewis Hamilton in conversation, only for the seven-time world champion to completely ignore him and walk away. Now, amid this latest controversy, the post-race exchange between Verstappen and Ben Sulayem at the Jeddah Grand Prix has sparked even more debate. There's speculation that Ben Sulayem warned Verstappen not to publicly criticize the controversial opening lap incident, which saw Max slapped with a 5-second penalty. However, Verstappen's body language during their exchange made it abundantly clear that he wasn't impressed and had no problem showing his displeasure. Another glaring issue is that the drivers increasingly seem to be ignoring the FIA's orders, particularly regarding the new rules about on-air swearing. The fact that not all FIA members supported this rule shows that Ben Sulayem doesn't have the full backing of the organization. This was evident through the recent internal shakeups and the dismissal of personnel unhappy with his leadership approach. Verstappen later dismissed the rumors that Ben Sulayem had personally reprimanded him about the radio language incident, but refused to comment further, bluntly stating that people can't handle the truth. He added that speaking out would only lead to penalties, highlighting the harsh political climate within the FIA. This adds yet another reason why Ben Sulayem's time in charge could be running out. Adding fuel to the fire, there's reportedly an important meeting planned that could significantly impact Ben Sulayem's future. Given the wave of scandals and missteps under his leadership, it looks increasingly unlikely that he will be re-elected, despite his wishes. Instead, many believe a leadership change is inevitable. To get a better understanding of the growing unrest within the FIA, we need to look at recent departures like that of Robert Reid, the former vice president. Reid is just one of several senior figures to leave recently, and it's very likely that others will follow suit as the situation worsens. Reports suggest that Ben Sulayem has either been firing those who disagree with him or pressuring them to quit, setting the stage for a major upheaval within the organization. There have been outright blunders as well. When Saudi Arabia's public investment fund made a formal offer to buy Formula One's rights from Liberty Media, an offer Liberty immediately declined. Ben Sulayem publicly stated that Formula One shouldn't overestimate itself. This ill-advised comment angered potential investors and cast doubt on future partnerships, creating yet another black mark on his leadership. To make matters worse, two high-ranking FIA officials were recently barred from attending a key World Motorsport Council meeting after refusing to sign a non-disclosure agreement, something Ben Sulayem has aggressively pushed for. Those two officials were Robert Reid and David Richards, chairman of Motorsport UK. The meeting itself was crucial, as it introduced the now official mandatory two-stop rule for the Monaco Grand Prix. While NDAs can help maintain confidentiality, the move raised serious questions about transparency within the FIA. It fueled concerns that Ben Sulayem's leadership is becoming increasingly secretive, an issue openly criticized by the Grand Prix Drivers Association, GPDA, and particularly by George Russell. Regarding Robert Reid's resignation, it seems the reasons are straightforward. He fundamentally disagreed with the FIA's current decision-making approach, feeling that the sport is becoming overly politicized at the expense of competitive racing. Reid simply couldn't stand by while these standards, ones he didn't support, were being pushed forward. These resignations and internal conflicts will undoubtedly serve as ammunition against Ben Sulayem during the upcoming pivotal meeting where key members will decide his fate. It's clear that he fears losing his position, especially given how unpopular he has become, particularly in the British media, which he believes has turned against him. Making matters worse, even the GPDA is now speaking out against him. George Russell has repeatedly called for greater transparency within the FIA, emphasizing that drivers, who risk their lives every race weekend, deserve to know what's happening behind the scenes. Russell elaborated by saying, "Unfortunately, every time we hear news from that side of the sport, the FIA side, it's no longer surprising. It's a real shame to lose respected figures who've been part of the sport for so long." He added that everyone just wants stability to return as soon as possible. What's even more concerning is that drivers feel completely powerless in this situation. They're aware things are heading downhill. That's not in question. The real issue is whether anything can be done to stop the spiral. Addressing this lack of influence, Russell stated, "Ultimately, it's getting to a point where these incidents are happening so frequently. In the past, drivers have tried to get involved but made little progress. Things continue heading in an unstable direction. Honestly, we're reaching a stage where our actions make very little difference." Russell emphasized that drivers now have to place their trust in the teams and Formula One management to work together with the FIA to find common ground. He said, "If we can help, we want to, but often it just feels like things are moving in only one direction." Fortunately, Russell made it clear that the drivers have full confidence in Stefano Domenicali and F1 management. They trust that Domenicali and the teams will work together for the benefit of everyone, aiming to restore collaboration and stability. Russell stressed that the drivers are not looking for conflict. They simply want collaboration. Fighting within the sport doesn't benefit anyone. Yet, the way Ben Sulayem is running the FIA, treating it almost like his personal fiefdom, is pushing drivers towards frustration and dissatisfaction. Even the latest backlash surrounding potential regulation changes hasn't helped the FIA's image. Talk about the return of V10 engines has sparked false hope, leading to further criticism of the organization's decision-making. To close on a very telling note, Russell pointed out that these problems aren't new. They've been festering for around 6 months. And the more attention they get, the more destabilizing it becomes. Regardless of how Ben Sulayem feels about the situation, one fact is unavoidable. His presidency is hanging by a thread. So with all of this chaos unfolding, have we just witnessed the final chapter for the controversial FIA president? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And once you do, don't forget to click on the video appearing on your screen right now.